Let's talk about a powerful force in your kitchen, yeast. It might look like a simple, unassuming packet on your shelf, but inside is a living world waiting to be awakened. Yeast is the unsung hero behind some of our favorite foods, quietly working its magic every time you bake a loaf of bread or pour a glass of beer. It's not a mystical energy or a chemical powder, it's alive. When you add water and a little warmth, you're inviting these tiny organisms to spring into action, bubbling and multiplying, right before your eyes. Those granules you sprinkle into dough are living, single-celled fungi, closer to mushrooms than to flour. Each one is a tiny powerhouse, ready to eat, grow, and transform your ingredients. Millions of these microscopic life forms fit on a pinhead, each ready to transform your food. Under a microscope, they look like little ovals or spheres, but together, they can change the texture, flavor, and aroma of what you eat. Yeast isn't a plant or an animal, it's part of the fungi kingdom, nature's recyclers. Fungi break down complex materials in the environment, turning them into nutrients for other living things. Without fungi, our world would be buried in dead plants and waste. They're everywhere, on grapes, in the air, on grains. You can find wild yeast floating invisibly around us, settling on fruit skins and grains, waiting for the right moment to start fermenting. In fact, before commercial yeast was available, bakers and brewers relied on wild yeast from the environment to make bread and beer. Even today, some artisan bakers and brewers still capture wild yeast to create unique flavors. Understanding yeast as a living thing is crucial for bakers and brewers. It's not just about following instructions, it's about creating the right environment for these organisms to thrive. You're not just following a recipe, you're managing a microscopic workforce. Every decision you make, from temperature to timing, affects how your yeast performs. Treat yeast well, and you get beautiful bread or flavorful beer. Neglect it, and your results suffer. A dense loaf or flat beer is often the result of unhappy yeast. Yeast isn't just another ingredient, it's a biological partner. It needs food, warmth, and time to do its job well. When you open a packet of yeast, you're awakening millions of tiny creatures, ready to feast. Each granule contains countless cells, all eager to get to work. Your kitchen becomes their world, and your dough their feast. As they eat and multiply, they release gases that make your bread rise, and flavors that make your food delicious. This partnership between humans and yeast is one of the oldest in food history. For thousands of years, we've relied on these tiny fungi to help us create nourishing, flavorful foods. Next time you bake or brew, remember, you're working with a living partner, one that's been by our side for millennia. So, what does yeast do? It eats sugar, but that simple act is the start of something magical. Yeast is a tiny, single-celled fungus, and when it finds sugar, it gets to work in ways that have shaped human history. In bread making, special enzymes break down the starches in flour, turning them into simple sugars that yeast can consume. As the dough is kneaded and left to rest, yeast cells begin to feast, multiplying and transforming the mixture. In winemaking, yeast feasts on the natural sugars found in grapes, while in beer brewing, it devours sugars extracted from malted grains. Each process is unique, but the underlying principle is the same. Yeast turns sugar into something new. The principle is simple. Give yeast sugar, and it gets to work. Whether in a bakery, a brewery, or a laboratory, yeast is always hungry for sugar, and it never fails to deliver. Yeast consumes sugar through fermentation, an anaerobic process, meaning it doesn't need oxygen. This is what allows bread to rise in a sealed bowl, or beer to bubble away in a closed tank. As yeast breaks down sugar, it produces two key byproducts, carbon dioxide and alcohol. The carbon dioxide forms bubbles, making bread light and airy, and giving beer and sparkling wine their fizz. That's the secret behind bread, beer, and wine. The flavors, textures, and aromas we love all start with yeast's appetite for sugar. Every airy loaf and bubbly drink exists thanks to this process. Without yeast, our tables would be missing some of their most beloved staples. Yeast isn't helping us on purpose, it's just surviving, doing what it's evolved to do over millions of years. We simply benefit from its natural life cycle. Its waste is our treasure. The carbon dioxide and alcohol it produces are the very things that make our bread rise and our drinks sparkle. We've built entire cultures around the leftovers of this tiny fungus. From ancient feasts to modern celebrations, yeast's handiwork brings people together. Fermentation is a marvel of efficiency. Sugar in, energy for yeast, carbon dioxide, and alcohol out. It's a process that's both simple and profound, fueling traditions and innovation alike. For thousands of years, we've harnessed this natural process for delicious results, turning the humble appetite of yeast into a cornerstone of human culture. Let's zoom in on bread, a food so simple, yet so full of science and wonder. Every loaf tells a story, and it all begins with a handful of humble ingredients. You start by mixing flour, water, salt, and yeast. As you knead, you're not just combining ingredients. You're building structure, stretching and aligning gluten strands that will shape the bread's final texture. Then, you let the dough rest, giving the yeast time to work its magic. Inside the dough, millions of yeast cells awaken. These tiny organisms feast on the sugars in the flour, breaking them down and releasing carbon dioxide gas as a byproduct. The gluten network you developed earlier acts like a balloon, trapping the carbon dioxide. As more gas is produced, the dough inflates, becoming lighter and more elastic. This stage is called proofing. During proofing, millions of tiny bubbles form and expand, causing the dough to rise and double in size. It's a slow transformation, but essential for a soft, airy crumb. Without yeast, bread would be dense, heavy, and flat, more like a cracker than a loaf. But with yeast, you get a light, airy structure, full of flavor and character. The bread's open, spongy texture comes from carbon dioxide trapped in the gluten web. Each air pocket is a sign of yeast at work, but yeast does more than just make bubbles. As it ferments, it also produces alcohol and a host of flavor compounds. The alcohol mostly evaporates in the oven, but it leaves behind subtle notes that enrich the bread's taste. The irresistible aroma of fresh bread owes much to these flavor compounds which develop during fermentation and baking. That smell is a promise of deliciousness. In baking, we want the gas for lift and texture, but the alcohol and other byproducts are a flavorful bonus, adding depth and complexity to every bite. The whole process is a delicate dance of time and temperature. If it's too cold, the yeast works slowly, and the dough takes longer to rise. Too hot, and the yeast dies, leaving the bread flat and lifeless. A skilled baker carefully manages this environment, adjusting proofing times, temperatures, and humidity to coax the best rise and flavor from the dough. That's the power of yeast at work, transforming simple ingredients into a loaf that's light, flavorful, and full of life. Now, let's head to the brewery. Here, the focus shifts. Brewers want alcohol, not just bubbles. Yeast is pitched into sugary wort or juice, and fermentation begins. In sealed tanks, yeast produces alcohol and CO2. Most CO2 escapes, but some is captured for beer's fizz. Natural carbonation comes from trapping CO2 during secondary fermentation. Some brewers add it later. The same gas that lifts bread gives beer its sparkle. Yeast also creates esters and phenols, compounds responsible for beer and wine's complex flavors. Fruity, spicy, or floral notes. That's yeast at work. Brewers and winemakers select specific yeast strains for desired flavors. Fermentation becomes an art form, with yeast as the artist. It's more than an ingredient. It's the creative force behind every pint and glass. For most of history, fermentation was magic. Imagine ancient bakers discovering bubbly, flavorful bread by accident. They saved a piece of magical dough to start the next batch, our first sourdough starters. Early humans didn't know about microbes, but they saw the transformation. The same happened with drinks. Wild yeasts fermented grape juice or grain porridge, making safe, intoxicating beverages. To ancient cultures, this was a divine gift. Each starter was unique, giving bread regional character. Artisanal baking before science. Fermentation was seen as mystical, explained by gods and rituals. In reality, they were practicing good yeast management. The belief in fermentation's magic lasted millennia, shaping food traditions. Our partnership with yeast began as a happy accident and changed the world. For centuries, fermentation's magic was a mystery, until the microscope. In the 1600s, Leeuwenhoek saw yeast cells but didn't know their role. The breakthrough came with Louis Pasteur in the 1800s. Pasteur proved fermentation was a biological process, not just chemistry. He showed yeast caused fermentation and spoilage came from other microbes. Pasteur's work led to pasteurization, making brewing and baking predictable. He turned fermentation from magic into science, giving us control over yeast. When we say yeast, we usually mean Saccharomyces cerevisiae, the workhorse of baking and brewing. But within this species are thousands of strains, each with unique traits. In brewing, ale yeasts, S. cerevisiae, ferment warm and create fruity, spicy flavors. Lager yeast, S. pasteurianus, works cold, producing clean, crisp beers. The choice between ale and lager yeast shapes every beer. In baking, bread yeast is bred for rapid gas production. Wine yeasts are chosen for alcohol tolerance and flavor enhancement. Some are neutral. Others add fruity or floral notes. From champagne to sourdough, each yeast strain brings its own personality. Yeast selection is the foundation of every loaf and brew. Yeast needs the right conditions to thrive. Temperature is key. Most yeast prefers 70-80 degree Brahman. Too cold and yeast slows down. Too hot and it dies. Never add yeast to boiling water. Heat kills it. Water hydrates dormant yeast, waking it up. Sugar is yeast's food. Flour or grain usually provides enough, but a pinch of sugar helps jumpstart activity. Brewers use cold to slow or stop yeast, clarifying beer. For active fermentation, warmth is essential. Managing temperature, hydration, and food is your job as a baker or brewer. Get it right and yeast rewards you. Get it wrong and your project stalls. Master these basics, and you control your yeast's destiny. Not all yeasts are helpful. Some spoil food or cause infections. Wild yeasts can ruin beer or bread with off flavors. That's why sanitation is crucial in brewing and winemaking. Some yeasts cause spoilage in jams and juices. Others, like Candida, can harm humans. Our relationship with yeast is a delicate balance. Working with yeast teaches patience. Good flavor takes time. Slow fermentation creates complex flavors in bread and beer. Rushed results are never as good. Yeast is a collaborator, connecting ancient tradition with modern science. Provide the right conditions, and yeast does the work. This partnership has transformed simple ingredients into beloved foods and drinks for millennia.